Welcome to the Author's Corner with H.D. Campbell. For over 10 years, giving you the best author reviews, features, and more with a surprise or two. All for you, the author. Now kick off your shoes and enjoy the show with your host, me, author H.D. Campbell.
Do you need editing and formatting services for your manuscript or document? Go to HD Campbell Productions, who will offer professional services and reasonable prices. For more information, call HD Campbell at 314-265-9169, or you can send him an email at hdcampbell3@msn.com. Let HD Campbell be your editor. As always, let your writing fuel your spirit. You know, even after 20 years, readers are still captivated with How to Lose a Black Woman. Now, in its second printing, follow the story of Bruce Williams. Shall I say, mild-mannered school teacher in search of love? Using social media, prayer, and a lot of trial and error, Bruce fights to learn what a true relationship is all about. Filled with original poetry by H.D. Campbell, it's a lesson from one young man's point of view. Buy How to Lose a Black Woman on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Smashwords, in your favorite bookstore, and even on his website at www.hdcampbell3.com. And as always, let your writing fuel your spirit.
And at what age?
I say 2000. Well, I'm 65 now. I can't tell you what age, but it was in 2006. I was at choir rehearsal, and my best friend brought me a flyer for some acting classes for a workshop, well-known workshop here in Detroit. And I kind of laughed at her. I said, "Girl, please, I'm not an actress. Get out of here." And so I took the flyer and put it on my dresser, and a few months later, while I was cleaning, it had fallen between the television and the dresser, and I picked it up, and it piqued my interest at the time, because in 2003 I had been diagnosed with MS, and they told me that I had short-term memory loss, and so I said, well, you know what, maybe this will help with the memory loss. That's originally why I took the class. I still didn't have any hopes of being an actress. But I went to the classes and I fell in love with it. It happened that quick. I fell in love with it, and that's what I've been doing ever since.
I want to say something before I ask my next question. You never know how God intervenes with people. You just said that you're diagnosed with MS and the short-term memory loss. God says, you know what? You're gonna be well. You're gonna be well. You're gonna do this, and this is the result right here.
Yeah. It was you know, when I found out that they told me I had MS, I never claimed it. I never said I had MS. I said I was diagnosed with it. And I said that for years, you know, and I went on and I took the shots every day, and then this is another place where God intervenes. I went on and after taking the shots and the powerful pain medications and all the stuff I had to take, I prayed to God. I said, I only want to rely on you. And miraculously, immediately, everything I was taking started to make me sick. And I ended up in the emergency room, and they thought I had a heart attack because I was having, you know, chest pains, chest discomfort. I was having shortness of breath. And I kept telling them, no, it's this medicine. This didn't happen until I gave myself the shot today. And so they kept me in there for 5 days, ran all the heart tests and everything. And they said, well, okay, yeah, it's the medicine. Because they said, you know, the particular medicine I was on didn't have those type of side effects. And I was like, okay, but I know what it is. So they came back and told me, okay, it's the medicine. Just don't take it anymore. And I was like, duh, yeah. And so since then, I have been fine. You know, I have little aches and pains because I'm getting older. But a few years ago, maybe 3 years ago, the same doctor told me I didn't have MS. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever. Thank you.
You know, if this is not the example where I don't give one care about what man says, God said a
Exactly.
whole lot different.
Hey, that's the way it is. He's got the last say.
That's right. So you keep living
Yeah,
your life not claiming anything.
that's
Oh,
right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
so
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been doing since then. I've been acting since then. I've moved into directing, and you know, I've done some casting for some major productions, and some coaching, you know, talent coordinator, just, you know, and I actually um, learned early that, you know, once you get interested in something, you know, get some schooling in it. So after I had taken those classes and I said, okay, well, I'm gonna be an actor, let me go to school and learn more. So I went to school, and I got my associates in liberal arts, and I did the same thing when it came to, I wrote a book before I knew what I was doing. And after I wrote the book, I went to school and took creative writing classes, you know, all kind of classes, just to, you know, sure up, give me some legitimacy, you know.
now we're gonna talk about all that, but I want to go back for something you said for just a second. That you
Okay.
like you did a lot of learning, you wrote books, you did everything. What do you say for the youngin? Let's say they're in their 20s. I don't need to do all that. I'm a natural. My mama told me I'm good, and I can. I don't need all that. What you talking about? What you got to say about that?
You know what? I still learn as much as I can. You know, even when it comes to acting, even the greatest actors still take classes. You know, you don't want to get beside yourself and think you're so much. You know, you have to be humble when it comes to just about anything in life. You have to be humble and learn all you can about your craft. Study your craft. You know, and I tell every young person that I encounter when it comes to writing, when it comes to acting, or anything else, you have to study your craft and learn all you can, and learn as much as you can.
And to go a little further, and please take advantage of anything your craft has to offer.
Absolutely, absolutely,
'Cause that's
absolutely. When it came to acting, I did stuff in the background. I did, you know, props. I did whatever was needed, wardrobe. I've done, you know, and when you do that, you find yourself working more because you have more to offer, you know.
see, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So let's go
Yeah.
back for a second. You said that while you were learning, you wrote a book. Tell me a little bit about that book.
Okay, the book was called Back to One. I Invite You into My Serenity. It didn't start off as a book, just like the acting thing started off different. It started off as a journal. I lost my baby brother in 2001, and I had already been going through a lot of stuff dealing with my childhood and everything. And my sister-in-law gave me a journal, so I started writing in the journal. And the more I wrote, the more it came out as poetry. Now I had never written poetry before, but it was coming out as poetry. There go God again. It came out as poetry, and it was basically, you know, my experiences from childhood told in a poetic way.
Mm. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it. Do you know? I give certain people that I talk to a name, and you're very deserving of that name. There are people who give testimonies, but there are people like you who are called walking testimonies. That's why I call it. They're walking testimonies because you
Yeah.
have been through so much. You've achieved a lot despite everything, and you're still telling the story as you live your faith. And that's what a walking
Yeah.
testimony is.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, faith is it has everything to do with where I am now. And it speaks to the book I just wrote last year, just published last year. Say it, see it, believe it, receive it, and
Mm.
this has to do with affirmations, about positive affirmations, and how you have to speak stuff into existence. Not only speak it, you have to follow up. Faith without works is dead, so you have to be about that thing.
See, I love
Yeah.
it. And see, here's the whole thing. And one thing I'm loving about this interview already. You do all this, and you're so humble about it. I mean, I don't. I mean, and actually, it feels natural that you come humble about it. So, however life has done you, it is so wonderful that you're so humble with everything.
Yeah, you know what? I was raised that way. I had a wonderful mother, an awesome father, and yeah, I was raised that way. You have to be humble, and put God first. You know, put people. You have to treat people good too. That's another thing. Karma is something else.
Oh,
You have to treat people good, and you have to love people, and I genuinely do that. All people. Yeah, it's just a part of my story.
awesome, awesome, awesome. So, you acted, you've written a book. I mean, so far, I mean, tell me about some of your earlier productions that you've done.
Oh, I started off, of course, in stage. I started off on stage. The first audition I went to back in 2008, a young lady, an awesome young lady, writer, producer, Vanessa Lynn, gave me my first acting job. And it was called Affairs. And I went in to just get my feet wet, try out for a couple of smaller roles. And she offered me the lead role, which blew me away. I was like, are you serious? You want me to do this thing?
Scott
And
again.
so, yeah, there he goes again. And so I did that production. I did a few more productions with her, and she's the one who saw the director in me, and made me her assistant director. I met a lot of people throughout those times. I also was an administrator, worked on another project with her. It was a national project with her and Angela Dunlap, who is a national producer and writer. And I was part of the administration. I did a little bit acting in that. But the more doors opened up, the more doors opened up. So that's kind of how it goes. It snowball. I did Church Girl, which was the big production. I ended up doing some casting for that across the country. I didn't travel with them, but I would set up the extras for each city that they went to, and they would already have their extras there. Through I would work online and do that. So yeah, I got a lot of projects under my belt as far as stage is concerned. I've done community theater and kind of a wide range. I did urban, community, all types of theater, and learned a lot from that because I also worked backstage a lot as a stage manager and what have you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now I want to get into something more fun. How do we get to fakers? Explain to me about fakers. That sounds
Well,
like very interesting. I want to see.
you know what? Fakers is based on a true story that the writer, me, and a couple of other friends experienced. And of course, you know, you embellish some things, but Fakers is really about knowing who's in your circle. You know, do you know who's in your circle? And something that a friend of mine told me once: everybody who sees you prospering, they're not your friend, and they really don't want you to prosper. So watch who you have praying for you, because they may be praying on you.
Mm.
And I had to learn that, because I was like, no, I like everybody and everybody likes me. And I found that that's not true. You know, you do have some people who are envious or whatever reason, you know, and so that's what this story is about. You know, it's about a young lady who's an internet sensation who has a large following, but she wants to be an actress. So she goes to LA. And when she goes to LA, it's just she runs across a lot of different people and you know a lot of different spirits, and she gets entangled in some things and starts to be set up by you know. But it's really it's a very good mystery and suspense, and that's the type of writing Vanessa Lynn does. You get all kinds of twists and turns, and by the end you're like, what? I didn't expect that, you know. So yeah, I was acting coach and coordinator and casting in that production.
Awesome. Is it still on Vimeo right now?
Yes, it's actually a four-part series. It started off as a play. We were going to do it as a play, and people were so interested and intrigued with it. You know, everybody was like, "Why isn't this a movie?" And so we turned it into a movie, and it's on in a four-part series. It's being seen every Sunday this month, and it's on Vimeo.
Awesome.
So it started off this past Sunday, and we have three more to go. Yeah, we're getting a lot of great feedback from it.
You know, the only problem with that, if you want to call it a problem, is when people like something, they're going to be on you. They're going to always ask for more. So get ready for that
Absolutely,
if they're not already.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, and I can see more. I can see more coming from it.
So, so how has your fans? Because I know you got a lot of them. How are your fans treating you? I mean, feeling about you.
You know what? I have, and I fan. The word fan kind of, you know, it's weird for me to think of people being a fan of mine, but yeah, I have people who are really behind me, and just about everything I come out with, they're there to support me. You know, one of the main groups is my church home. They support me in whatever I do, and I try to stay vigilant on the types of things I'm involved in. There are certain roles I will not take. You know, I am an actor, so you know, usually at my age, I don't have to worry about doing anything risque anyway. Uh, but you know, for the most part, the projects I've gotten involved with are very good projects, very good writers, cinematographers, and directors, and I've been fortunate in that. And my fans, quote unquote, they follow me. They follow me in everything I do.
You know, you just said something that I really admire as well. The fact that, you know, because it doesn't matter the age. If you find somebody slimy, they're going to want you to do something crazy. I love the fact that you have the mindset to say, no, not every role is a good role. No, not every
Yeah,
role is I'm taking. I'm happy about that.
right, right. Yeah, yeah. And you know, and like I said, I've been fortunate. A lot of the projects I have done have been because of you know, hearsay, word of mouth. You know, auditions, yes, but you know, and I do things like commercials also and voiceover work and that type of thing, which you always have to audition for. But I have been fortunate in that respect also to get some pretty huge roles and projects to work on.
Awesome, awesome. And see, the reason I love that so much is because you get the, again, I'm sorry, younger folks, I'm always jumping on them, but
No
uh,
problem.
it's like, well, I have to do what I got to do to get. I don't know. You really don't have to do what you got to do. What you have to do is focus on your craft and
Absolutely.
anyway.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because, you know, when I started acting, the first thing I said was, you know, I'm doing it because it's fun. I really enjoy doing this. And once it stopped being fun, I won't be doing it anymore. You know, so I go into each project thinking about, how much fun is this going to be, and looking at the script and, seeing, mainly my role. Is it some character to my role? Is it a reason for me being there? A lot of times I play the moral compass in a lot of things, so yeah, it's about fun to me. It's about enjoying what I'm doing at this age. I want to enjoy what I do in life.
Awesome, awesome. I want to talk about another movie, Turn of the Cheek. Tell me a little bit about
Yes. Turn of the cheek, uh, basically was about forgiveness. And it's about the ultimate act of forgiveness, for this family. Um, and not just for the family, but also, it touches on forgiveness of self also, because you have to forgive yourself before you can forgive anybody else. And it also touches on that. And it's a faith-based movie. And it's with Janaea Black is the writer and the director. And it's a power team. It's her and her husband.
something. Yeah.
Yes, with Blacksmith Productions, and they've done a lot of projects. This project right here was so touching. It was. I think we had a thing among us that we would say, "You're gonna cry," because it's like each scene is very touching. It started a little boy. This little boy that played in this, you would think he'd been doing this all his life, and I mean, the whole cast was on point. Everybody in the cast was on point. So it's a wonderful movie. We're waiting now to see what streaming outlets is going to be seen on, because they do have a couple of other movies out there that's streaming right now. But it was a fantastic movie. Not just, I mean, making the movie was also wonderful. Working with the different actors and the crew, everybody just gelled together. Everybody was on the same page, and I love that about that.
It's funny you mentioned Janaea Black, her husband. I interviewed her years ago, and I bought one of her "Till Death Do Us Part." I remember
Yeah,
the movie and talking to her about that. And
yeah.
she's an awesome director. I mean, actually, in other words, you're among some awesome professional company.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And I had been, I did a play with her years ago. I can't think of the name of it now. I mean, this was really a long time ago. And I've really been looking forward to working with them again, because it was such a pleasure, and it was so professional. Even back then, they are a very professional group. And yeah, I enjoy it. Every time I get a chance to work with them, I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I'm wondering if it's possible to actually buy any of the movies. Uh,
Um, Let me see. I know that I'm not sure about affairs now. I'm not sure about um, Church Girl, but they were in what's the outlet that would sell all the movies? I can't even think of them now. But you might be able to find a few of them on DVD. I know Deceitful Passions, another movie I did, was also on DVD. And with the streaming now, it's kind of hard to find DVDs of these things, because of the streaming. The streaming just came and knocked everybody out the box, basically. But yeah, I'm sure you can find some of these on DVD.
all right, let's change gears for a second because you more than just act. Let's talk about your directing. Your directing
Uh-huh.
and producing. What have you directed and produced?
Well, I've done directing, mainly assistant directing with Vanessa Lynn. And Vanessa Lynn her company is called Parables Entertainment. And so I was assistant director on quite a few of her projects: Boss Lady, um, Unequally Yoked, um, just a few things, it's just here and there where, I'll be working behind the scenes with somebody and they'll ask me if I would like to step into assistant directing role or help out or whatever. And like me, when it comes to the work that I do, I usually start off as in some capacity working on a project. You know, I've had people tell me, "Well, I just want you to do something," you know, just because of your aura or whatever, and then I'll end up placed in a certain, area, which I have no problem with because I'm still working, so, and that's the idea. But yeah, I've done some assistant directing on a couple of projects, a few projects, and that's how I got a chance to meet so many actors. I'm very familiar with a lot of actors that I've run across, and when I'm doing casting, you know, even if a lot of the auditions they do don't go well, I know what they can do. I've seen what they're capable of. And that's how I've placed a lot of different actors. I know what you can do. They may think, oh, I messed that audition up, but I know what you can do, you know.
See, you don't believe me. You still don't believe me when I tell you. God had a way of pushing people out of the way for you. When
Oh,
somebody comes in and say, "Man, I don't care what you do. I just want you on this production." Just come on to the production and
yeah. And I mean, it's a blessing. It's a blessing, and I'm the type of person, I want to help out anyway. I want to help my younger actors out. I'm good at connecting people, because I run into so many people, being in this business, so I'm good at connecting people. I'm good at, working with the younger actors and, yeah, it's a blessing. It really is a blessing. And I take it as that.
who are some of your influences? Who influences you as
Um, as far as acting, I would say, I'm a classic movie buff. So
an
I go way, way back to Betty Davis and
You remember? You good? You good?
Katharine Hepburn and, people like that. I used to stay up when I was really little and watch movies, and it would fascinate me the wardrobe they would have on, and those actors are, they really. I fell in love with movies, not acting per se. I just fell in love with movies, and I would watch uh, Jimmy Stewart.
Yes.
It's so many from back there that and I still watch those movies now. I go back and watch them over and over again. But we have some fascinating actors now that are, veteran actors. Glenn Close, I like Sigourney Weaver. It's so many that I like. Oh my gosh. And they are doing fantastic things as far as acting and movies are concerned. Some have gone behind the scenes and produced projects, So, yeah, Viola Davis. Oh my gosh, she's amazing. Viola Davis is amazing, and I just love watching, And I learn a lot from watching these people. You learn a lot. Um, when I did Church Girl, what is her name? Robin Givens taught me a lot about acting, as far as working, as far as beats are concerned, and coming in at the last minute, picking up a script and just going through it and knowing it. I was like, wow, this is how people do this, huh? So yeah, I've had a lot of, and I look at them as actors, but they're teachers also. These projects that come out, you look at them as a learning experience or a chance to learn something, to improve your craft.
See, number one, I'm just gonna go put it out there. Number one, you named two of my Hollywood crushes. So we're gonna
Really?
let's see, Viola Davis, Sigourney Weaver. We're gonna leave that one alone. Gonna leave that one alone. Anyway, uh, so now you've gotten so many experiences from talking to people and doing this. I mean, what's next for you?
Oh gosh, I'm working on a screenplay now. I'm working on another book of poetry. I have two projects that are waiting for Corona to die down a little more. Projects that people have written for me as the lead character, and yeah, I'll take it all. You know, I'll take it all. I'm just looking for some good projects to be attached to. You know.
Actually, you actually answered a part of my next question. How are you doing during COVID? Are you? I mean, how are you working? Or are you working? What's going on right now?
No, I'm not working. For one thing, I have a couple of underlying issues, so I try to stay close to home. And for another reason, I had a couple of injuries a few months ago that kind of knocked me out of the box for a little while. I'm getting better, thank God. Um, but I'm also, while I'm home, I'm also, working on my screenplay, working on the scripts that I know, the movies that are coming up, probably the end of the year or the beginning of the year. Um, Whenever they come back up, hopefully I'll be able to go ahead and do something, but I still can't, because I'm the type of person, I've always been the type of person where I stay busy. I'm gone. I have a 9 to 5 job, and in marketing, and I would leave home like 8 o'clock in the morning and not get home till maybe 12 because I had like 4 stops throughout the day, from rehearsals to the job to, film work, being on set and everything like that. So when I was first had to stay home, it was kind of challenging. But because I have no problem being with myself by myself, I love myself, so I love my company, and I haven't been where I was, was down about, being home, um, because I can always find something to do. I can always find something to do. Um, so it hasn't been that much of a problem for me. My home is my solace. It's my sanctuary. Even though I'm the type of person who I'm into a lot of stuff, when I come home, that's where I'm able to just relax and enjoy me.
Yeah, I love that. A few more questions left. My next
Hmm.
question, will switch gears again. I actually wanted to ask you a question I asked of an actress I interviewed yesterday. I wanted to get your take on the subject. Um, as far as you've been in a lot of movies, you've written, you produced, and everything. Hollywood has so much right now. It has a problem. Have a problem with not enough original content, but
Yeah.
there's so much original content out there.
Hmm.
What do you think the disconnect is when there's so much? It's like you're doing original movies, other people doing original movies, but
Hmm.
Hollywood's stuck in this remake hole to where why? What do you think is going on?
Well, when it comes to Hollywood, I think that Hollywood, they figure, okay, this worked this time. Let's just keep on hitting it until it don't work. So they'll remake stuff, or they'll make something that, it's all like a cookie cutter thing.
But,
We're
but
going to do it this way because this is the way it's been working, and it's where we make our money.
I guess my problem is you guys. We all have original stuff that we can just put fakers. I mean, the term
Yes,
we have movies, original movies that we can actually
absolutely.
put, but they just want to keep remaking and remaking and remaking.
Yeah, yeah. But you know what? I also think that, with the way things are now, as far as streaming is concerned, it gives us a chance to be seen by a wider audience. And you better believe that these Hollywood people are watching, A lot. And as far as Detroit is concerned, they're watching a lot of stuff that comes out of Detroit because Detroit is cranking them out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even during Corona, they're out there working. They're out there filming. They're finding some way to get it done. And Detroit has a plethora of movies on Netflix, on Amazon Prime, on QB, on Tubi. I mean, they're everywhere, and they take notice. They take notice. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that there's actually something. If they keep taking notice, the status
Yeah.
quo might be replaced by you guys. This is what I'm saying. We don't need the status
Yeah.
quo. We need original content. That's why we love Captain Hepburn. That's how come we love our
Absolutely.
class because all of that was original. The acting was
Absolutely.
original. The acting was more natural.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. I agree. I agree. And you know, these young people out here now, they're doing it. They're coming up with new content constantly. New content. You know, even to as far as web series. They're doing a lot of web series now. And we have like festivals here in Detroit that have just popped up. We have the Detroit Filmmaker Awards that's just been going on for the last 2 years. We have a lot of different. We have the Trinity Film Festival here, and we're giving recognition because a lot of our people, you know, in independent film, we don't get the recognition that we should get, you know, and it just causes us to work more and work harder. But yeah, we're getting people recognition now for their work and their hard work. And I mean, everybody's working. They're all out there working and waiting for the next project.
And that's because everyone is hungry. When you're hungry, you work. When you
Absolutely,
work, you eat.
absolutely.
So that's what I love about it. So
Yes, yes.
so personally, how can we get to know you? How can you garner new fans? How can we buy your books? What can we do to get to know you?
Okay, so my latest book is on Book Baby, and it's called "Say It, See It, Believe It, Receive It," and it's about positive affirmations, which have worked for me in my life. I don't think I would be where I am if I had not started to practice that. You can find me on Amazon, Deborah Chenault Green. You can find me on Facebook, Deborah Chenault Green. You can find me on Instagram at Chenault Eyes, and also on Twitter at Chenault Eyes. I have a personal web page, DeborahChenaultGreen.com. So yeah, just hit me up if you need my services, some advice, whatever. Just hit me up.
All right. I know that you're always busy, but what do you like to do when you're not acting and working? And what do you like to do for yourself?
You know what? I am a puzzle fanatic. I love jigsaw puzzles,
Mm.
and I put them together and I framed them. I'm working on an Annie Lee collection now. She has some beautiful work, and I love her puzzles. So I'm working on those now. I think I have maybe three that I haven't done. When I'm home, I like to relax and I watch television. Um, Find a good movie. I probably have seen them all since Corona, but I do some writing. I like to write poetry. I like to enjoy my family. I have 14, 15 grandchildren, and I have three great grandchildren. So, I like to interact with my grandchildren, not right now as far as, Corona, but yeah, I like to enjoy my family. I have a very close knit family, and I have some very close friends that, we get together, we social distance, we wear our masks. Um, but yeah, I just love relaxing, love meditating. Anything as far as self-improvement, I just love.
Oh, see, I love that. So beautiful. I know you've been doing this all interview, but I'm about to give you the final word where you get to give advice, shout outs, whatever you want to do, the floor is yours.
Okay, okay. Um, to the young actors out there, I want to reiterate, study your craft. Never stop studying your craft. It's always something new to learn. I like to give a shout out to the productions I've been a part of. Um, the users, we didn't mention the users. That is a mystery, sort of in the style of Alfred Hitchcock. Um, Darren Brown was the writer producer on that. It's just so many people I like to thank. Vanessa Lynn, I like to thank Blacksmith Productions. Um, just anybody who has had a part of keeping me busy, keeping me working. My family they are my biggest fans. My grandkids think they have the greatest grandma ever. I like to thank my family, just everybody who holds me up. My best friends. I have two best friends. I have a group of people around me, that are so supportive. My church home, New Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church. My friend who lives in Ohio, Tiger. I like to thank him because he's very supportive. But yeah, it's just so many people to thank, and continue to support. I do appreciate your support. Um, and the next thing I'm gonna do, whenever it is, I'm gonna contact you so that you can check it out. Because it's a lot of great things coming down the pike. These young people are hungry, like we were talking earlier. They're hungry, and it's best to stay hungry. That's how you stay working. But yeah.
Thank you.
Have you seen The Author's Corner with H.D. Campbell? It's the best show you're not watching. Every week we have authors, editors, artists, and others from various industries. There are 3 ways to watch Author's Corner, primarily on our YouTube channel, HD Television, on our HD Television Facebook page, and on our media page at www.hdcampbellmedia.com. It's the Author's Corner with H.D. Campbell. Check it out weekly, and as always, let your writing fuel your spirit. And God bless you. By Late Murder at 10 by H.D. Campbell. Former investigative reporter Mark Alexander thought his life hit a slump when a mass shooting results in the murder of a controversial news anchor. Can Mark get out of his head long enough to crack this case? Well, I'm not going to tell you. You'll have to get your own copy of Late Murder at 10 on Amazon.com and coming soon to your favorite bookstore.
Okay, my first project is called In His Own Words. It's about a teenage boy, an 8th grader, who has a speech impediment. He's adopted. He's bullied at his school because of his speech impediment. So the reason why I wrote it, because I wanted it to be a good conversation starter for parents and children, a way for them to connect. And it addresses everything from bullying to fighting. There's a theme of academic excellence because the main character struggles in school. And also his parents work a lot, like most parents of today. So pretty much the genre is youth fiction. It was published in 2018.
I want to actually address a couple of issues that your book grew up last night about. Think about when I was coming up with questions. You talk about a kid who actually overcomes all this in a two-parent household, in basically, but we never talk about black males that overcome this.
Mm-hmm.
And so in other words, how do you think this impacts us as a community?
I think it would be impactful because, a lot of our males deal with violence issues and fighting. And I believe that it would show them that it's ways to handle conflict other than violence. You know, as a African American male myself, I, encountered a lot of violence growing up. I was born on the west side of Detroit, and you had to fight in order to be respected, But I believe that once children become teens and, preteens and teens, they have to learn different ways to solve their problems. I mean, if they don't, they're going to end up, a stereotype and a statistic, So I believe the book, I guess the purpose is to pretty much give, our youth a way to handle their conflict other than violence.
Yeah, because see, the one thing I love about the book is the concept is number one, is the regular kid going through regular problems in the hood, pretty much so. Mm-hmm. The problem I see in a lot of society today is I see the one kid going the negative route, but never no one going into the positive route. And when they do hit the positive, they have to go through so much hell with the negative route. You actually just bypassed it because, see, like you grew up in the hood, never had to join the gang, never had to do any of that. I basically, but did have to fight a couple times, but still was able to make it out positively. And I'm glad that someone actually read a book about that. Do you draw this from any experience?
Okay, pretty much a lot of the character is my experience, except for I wasn't adopted. I was, I was raised in a two-family home. Now the reason why I did pick the adoption route and the foster care route, because my main character has been in foster care and is adopted, because I'm a foster parent also. Me and my wife, we were foster parents for 6 years. We're not foster parenting right now. We're on break. But, I saw a lot of struggles that a lot of the foster kids went to that I took in. I took in at least 17, 18 kids over the past 6 years. And, I saw a lot of their struggles, so it's harder for them to adjust to regular life than the average kid. Now, when I was coming up, I did have a speech impediment. I still work on it today. So I was able to relate that to my main character's experience. And I was often bullied because of it, growing up on the west side of Detroit, it's pretty, it's pretty rough sometimes. And, as I was growing up, I didn't have that, fight spirit in me in the beginning, But my father did. My father was the one that told me, the importance of fighting back and standing up for myself, as I grew up young. So I relate that to the experience of the character, my experiences, and also being a foster parent.
Awesome. And I also love the fact that it's a two-parent home, which is a major thing. You see, not a lot of people also write about two-parent. Usually it's a one-parent home, usually the primary. So I'm loving every object of this book that you're talking about. So, and I'm also glad that you actually put elements in there that a lot of people can relate to, which is so cool. So, is this so what age group are you trying to attract to?
I'm targeting preteens to teens. So preteen, I say preteen, we can go 9 to 16.
Awesome. So now that you've got this book, which is so cool, so you're right. So that makes you right. So let's go personally back to what got you into writing in the first place?
Okay, first place, I've liked writing for a long time, my mother was the one that noticed it. She's also a teacher. She's been teaching for years, a retired teacher with DPS. She noticed it, and she asked me to write a poem for my grandmother's retirement party. And I used to read when I came up. I used to read a lot of Langston Hughes. Listen, I was just really excited about the way he put words together and wrote poetry. And it really just gave me like an outlet, reading outlet. So I wrote a poem for my grandmother's retirement party, and she published it on a plaque. And after seeing it in print and after seeing my grandmother's response to it, I felt proud of myself, you know. So after that, you know, I began to write plays on my own, you know. And as the years went on in high school, my mother suggested that I become a writer for our school newspaper. So I applied for that. And when I applied for that and, you know, became a reporter for our school newspaper called the Southfield J, I became the editor the following year. So my senior year, I became the editor. So once I started writing and, you know, I began to enjoy it, I began to see it as an outlet. Because when I first, you know, got into high school as a teen, I was more focused on sports. You know, I was more focused on sports. I was focused on basketball. My parents wouldn't let me play football because I had asthma, but I was focused on basketball. And I tried out for the basketball team and I wasn't able to make it, you know. And I was really down. I didn't have that, you know, thing that, I guess, an outlet or thing that I needed to do in my spare time. So once I started writing and becoming you know, a reporter for a school paper, it gave me like a sense of identity.
I don't know if you noticed or not, but one of my heroes, Johnny Johnson, Carter Beverly and Jet, it's sort of his story. He wanted to be a part of something, you know. He couldn't really play sports, you know, that well, but when he joined the newspaper, you know, that was an outlet. The next thing you know, boom, Beverly and Jet. That's what you kind of remind me of. So,
Yep.
Which is like so cool.
Uh-huh.
So my next question for you is, so you have this book. How long? Well, when was the book published?
So when was it published?
Yes.
Okay, published in 2018 in August.
And so, how's the fans received the book so far?
You know, I've been getting pretty good reception. My family was very supportive in the beginning. I I didn't get a chance to really market it last year the way I want to. I started a new job, and the new job was very challenging, so I didn't get a chance to market it last year. But over the pandemic, I've had a chance to really sit down and think about the book and really think about how to take it to the next step. So I had a good response, you know, from my family. People in school at my old school loved it. Recently I did a presentation for a church because my book has a Christian theme in it also too. The main character's family, adopted families, are Christian. As a matter of fact, his adopted father is a minister. But anyway, I did a presentation for a church recently for their youth ministry, and they really enjoyed it. You know, our focus was on bullying.
You know, our kids go through so much with, you know, the bullying, and don't add something like a speech impediment to it, or you're gonna make it worse, things like that. And for you to write a book about it and get the response that you're getting is so awesome. So, do you see any more books of this caliber coming out?
I haven't seen much about bullying, but I've seen, you know, I know there's
No, no,
some
no,
good.
no. No, what I'm asking is, do you see yourself writing more books of this
Oh
caliber?
yes, yeah, definitely. I'm looking at a part two, you know, soon to my main character Stephen's life. Um, in my next book, I'm going to deal with his experience in high school and how he pretty much gets over his stuttering issue, and now he's looking to find identity and join the band. So that's going to be my next project.
Awesome, because I'll be honest with you. To go back to what Star said, there's not a lot of books out there, especially about us. They go through
Mm-hmm.
they go through the bullying and everything because, again, the market is so flooded with your only alternative is to do negativity. You actually
Mm-hmm.
put positivity. You, you know, to like, have you had any pushback as far as that's concerned?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's important. I mean, I believe it's important to, you know, show the positive. I mean, Black people are not all one type. We have some people who come from family with two-parent homes. We got people who are adopted. You know, it's not all one type. And I think that's, you know, in the media, all you see is one type usually. But I think we have a wide spectrum in our community.
Exactly. So, have you had anyone say, have you had any negativity from the book so far as it's come out?
No, I have not. No, I have not.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, and I'm glad about that. So, with the book, with the book flooded, this is a young person's book. This is so cool. So now, who's your publisher?
Destined for Greatness Publishing.
Awesome,
Publisher is based out of he's based out of California.
awesome, awesome. So now, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes, his name is Denarl Williams.
Okay,
It's called Destined for Greatness Publishing. Destined for Greatness Publishing, based out of California.
awesome. And how did you hook up with them guys?
Say the answer.
Oh, and how did you hook up with them?
Okay. The assistant pastor at my church, John White, published a book. The assistant pastor of my church published a book, a youth fiction book, and I noticed that it was good quality, and I asked him to, who published your book? He told me he told me his publisher's name. I contacted him, and we talked. And I sent him a copy of the book. He said he liked it. He'd be willing to help me self-publish it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So now that you publish, that you're writing, are you thinking about any other genre books besides the sequel to what you're writing?
Yes, I'm thinking about Christian romance fiction. Yep, Christian romance fiction. I'm thinking about crime fiction.
Oh,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
now you're crossing two of my territories. Christian fiction, definitely crime fiction. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So, who are some of your writing influences? You mentioned Langston Hughes. Do you have any more?
Do you have any more what?
See, who are some more of your influences? You mentioned Langston Hughes, but do you have any more?
Okay. Langston Hughes. He's the main one. James Baldwin. I like reading about political things too. So W.E.B. Du Bois, a lot of older people in the old generations.
You name a lot of my Harlem Renaissance guys. I love it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a huge fan of the Harlem Renaissance, especially the writers. So, yes, most definitely. What other way to get to know you, to buy your book, to just connect with you?
Okay, you said by my book. They can send me an email, and they can cash out. You can send the book costs $13, and it costs $13, and they can send me an email, KennethLaVelle@hotmail.com.
Awesome. Do you have a website?
No. The cash app is $Kenneth POWE.
Okay. So you're just so humble. Everything is, it's just so humble, and you just talk about. It's like this is so cool. You're somebody that experienced this, wrote a book about it, and just inspiring so many people. How does that feel that you're inspiring so many people?
I enjoy it. I really enjoy it. I'm working with youth every day, so I see the struggles. I'm also a Christian minister. So, however I can help someone else, I'm always looking way to help someone else. I guess go through something in a better way.
So, if you were to encounter a child who's actually being bullied and going through those struggles, how would you help them?
Well, first of all, I would talk to them and get a feel of their personality, and I would be more of an encouragement to them. I would let them know to not allow their current situation define who they are. They are bigger than what they see in front of them. I would deal with that first, and then I would give them some ways to deal with bullying. We have different types of bullying. We have internet bullying. We have people who do verbal bullying and physical bullying. And one of the find an adult to talk to about it. It could be their teacher, their parent, because I believe that the adults can give children direction on how to deal with different things. And I think that's missing in our society. You know, a lot of children don't trust the adults enough to come to them for direction.
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. So, how do you sort of bridge that gap, the communication gap between the generations as far as helping children?
I think that, I mean, right now it's pretty difficult right now, but I mean, it can be done. I think that, you know, as far as the older people need to know that they were in the same spot the people who are younger are in. So they're gonna have to have some empathy when dealing with them. I believe the younger people need to know that those who are ahead of you should be respected, you know. And, you know, if they can respect the people who are older will probably feel more inclined to give more advice and more assistance to them.
You see, I think, and personally, it's just my opinion, but I think the book is going to help with that. You get your book in the hands of so many children, or at least in schools and in churches, and youth organizations, that can actually help because I think that's one of the disconnects between our generation and theirs is the communication gap. I think that's all it is, the communication gap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that the younger generation is more focused on, more focused on online, online and the internet, and we are too. But it's not, it's not to that degree, not to that higher degree as younger people.
And see,
I'm,
oh, go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm looking to get my book, different formats too.
Oh, like Kindle and
Kindle, yep, Kindle, get it online, Kindle and like the books, audio books.
Oh.
So I'm looking to in the future.
Okay. We'll talk about Detroit for a second. I've interviewed a lot of people from Detroit, from your city, and all I get is the positive. All I get is the positive. I did Sylvia Hubbard. I did a woman named Deborah Chenault Green, who's an actress out of Detroit. There's a lot of people. I love the fact that even with your book, that Detroit gets so much negative in the press. Mm-hmm. That there's so many people that bring out the positive of this city. How do you feel about that?
Yes. Yeah, like I said, it may be that as far as media coverage, we don't get enough positive media coverage on what's going on positively. I believe that Detroiters have a fight in their spirit, and we are willing to overcome obstacles. I mean, it's a small Midwestern city, and we know that as far as resources are not always really available. I believe that the reason why that we're so positive is because we have to be.
You see, my thing is, I believe, and this is again my opinion, I think you're positive because the city's not as bad as the media makes it out to be.
It's not as bad.
So like I said,
Yeah, we have a strong, we have a strong generation of elders who set a lot of good things in place. Those who migrated here from the South, they brought their values and they really trained us. A big portion of us, and that's what I grew up seeing. A focus on education, a focus on reaching back to the community.
Man, see, like I said, you brought positivity to it. Other people offer, positivity. You just don't know how many people from Detroit I've interviewed. It's like if I have so many positive people on my show, where is the negativity coming from? What, 2%?
I know where's it coming from. I know.
So, like I said, everything is all good. So now I'm about to get on your nerves for a second. You said that the women. I know you're trying to get the first book together, but people are gonna bug you about a second book. When do you think you see yourself putting out a second book?
A second book? Okay, like a second version of this book, or a second book period?
Second book, period.
Okay, second book, possibly the end of next year. I'm looking to have it finished by the middle of next year. So
Okay,
like by spring, maybe done spring, looking to publish it by at least by the winter at least.
okay, because I'm gonna give you a warning as a new author now. You got the book. You say when you start doing these panels and things, and people start asking
Yes.
about the book, they will
Okay.
bug you. They will harass you.
Yeah, okay,
I want
okay.
another book.
Okay,
They
yeah,
will
oh
threaten
yeah.
you. Hey, where my book at?
Okay, yeah.
So I'm
I'm
just warning.
yeah, I'm looking very hard. I'm looking very hard to get it done.
Awesome. So now we're at the part of the show where I usually give authors the final word. You can give shout outs, you can give advice, whatever you want to say, the floor is yours.
Okay, I just want to really thank thank God for my wife who's really helped me. It's about every area. She's been my main encourager. I want to thank God, of course. Uh, I also want to give a shout out to my pastor, Bishop Will Thornton, King of Kings International. He really inspired me to, put my dream into action, but not just sitting on my dream, but get started by doing it. I thank God for my parents, Kenneth Senior and Veronica Powers, who gave me a strong foundation, of what it means to be successful. I saw their lives and also the lives of people in my family. Thank God for my two brothers, Keith Powers and Kevin Powers, and my sister Bernice Powers. They're all doing well in their careers. My brother Keith Powers, he owns his own construction company. He's doing well. And my other brother is an engineer, and my sister works in corporate America as a manager. So I just, I mean, I thank God for my family. Just putting that, desire to be successful on the inside of me. And I really hope that people take something away from the book. I hope that they take away ways to handle violence. Ways to deal with for parents, ways to deal with their children. It's important for parents to talk to their children, to see what's going on in their lives. I know we live in a busy society in which people are working, and the economy is not how it was years ago, where you could have one job and do well. But your children should be important enough to you to sit down and talk to them, and, provide direction. So I hope that the children can read this book and know that books are it's okay to read too. Books can be on your level as an African American. It's not to be a Black person, and to be you can't say you can't say that it's not being Black by reading or enjoying reading. We have a tradition of people who came before us who were great writers and readers. So I hope that it instills a love for reading in our youth.
Just who is author H.D. Campbell? He's the multi-gene author who can take you on several trips at once. With H.D. Campbell, you can have a romance, you can track a killer, or even stop an international incident. For 30 years and still writing, H.D. Campbell will take you on trips you've never been before. Learn more about him by logging on to hdcampbell3.com or check him out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. Read his rewrites of How to Lose a Black Woman and Late Murder at 10, with a new title coming soon. And as always, let your writing fuel your spirit. Coming soon, the second printing of the Sergeant Wise Guy Chronicles, reintroducing you to a special agent, Sergeant Wise Guy, the government's top strategics and agent with a very sarcastic tongue. A former Ranger, he heads up a team of specialists taking care of missions too big or too messy or other agents don't want to handle. His first mission takes him to Paris, where a stolen Cold War nuclear warhead was discovered. While discovering the warhead's origin, a lost dead love resurfaces. Can Sergeant Wise Guy resolve both before the secret plans for the warhead is complete? Well, check out the second printing of the Sergeant Wise Guy Chronicles, coming soon.